This is a picture that was created by Pablo Picasso in 1912. This is generally thought of as the very first professional collage, and it's got like pieces of a chair and newspaper and all sorts of stuff in it. Picasso made a lot of collages. He was really the first one to do this as a professional artist. Pablo Picasso's most famous collage is called The Three Musicians. And this is what we're going to create today. We're going to create our own version of The Three Musicians by cutting different shapes in our construction paper. Just to give you an idea about how big this collage really was, here it is at a gallery. It was gigantic. We're not going to make something quite that big, but we are going to create our own version of The Three Musicians. Now let's look at the shapes. These people, we know they're people, we know they have instruments, but the shapes aren't really very realistic. That's okay. Picasso is having fun with it. So today we're going to be making our own versions of Pablo Picasso's The Three Musicians. Now, this is a collage, and all a collage is, all that word means, it's a fancy French word that means to paste. That's it. So we're going to make art by pasting stuff together today. I am doing this with a glue stick, scissors, and construction paper, but you can use whatever you've got. If you have wet glue, that works just fine too. Now, you have probably made art by gluing stuff together before, but over 100 years ago when Pablo Picasso was doing it for the first time, nobody had really done that before. It was new. The Three Musicians was created in 1921, so it was a little bit over 100 years ago. Now, I am just starting to cut different shapes for the different body parts, like legs and arms. I know that when Pablo Picasso created the Three Musicians, he didn't always worry about making arms and legs and things look like they normally would in real life. He was more interested in playing with shapes and different shapes and different colors. And that's what we're going to do when we're going to make ours. So I don't want you to worry about it if you're not using the normal kind of colors you think of with making somebody or the normal kind of shapes. I'm just kind of goofing off when I make this. Just kind of having fun and letting my art just kind of become whatever it does become. I'm just cutting out and putting shapes together. We can all do that. That's all Pablo Picasso did when he created the Three Musicians. Back then, people were surprised with how Pablo Picasso created people in his artwork. He used shapes like nobody else had before. So when I make my art, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm not going to worry if everything's exactly the right shape or if everything's exactly like I intended it. I'm going to let it become what it is, my art. I'm just going to make three musicians. And that's all you have to do too. We're making three musicians. They can be using different instruments. They can be in different kinds of poses. You could have men or women, or they could be playing. They can be made out of different shapes and different colors. Just experiment. Fill up the page. And when I say fill up the page, we want to really fill up the page. There should be stuff going on the right, the left, the top, the bottom. Take your time with it. No great masterpiece was ever made by a lazy artist. So don't be lazy with it. This can be fun. I had a lot of fun making mine. You could make guitarists or people playing the banjo or drums or cellos, all sorts of different stuff. You could even just have singers and dancers in there. Just make them however you want to make them. Nobody's art's going to be the same. Even if I tried to make something exactly like this, it wouldn't look the same. So don't try to make it like anybody else's. Make it like your own. Your own three musicians. Now, you can use whatever colors you want, but I probably wouldn't make my musicians the same color as the background, because then I won't see them. And we want to really see these. We want our musicians to stand out. Now, craftsmanship counts. Make sure you're gluing on your shapes very nicely. Make sure everything's stuck down. You don't want anything falling off. That happens a lot if you don't take a little bit of time. So take some time now. Now, we should make our musicians big. That'll help us fill the page. If you take a little bit of extra time, try really hard. I bet you're going to be really surprised at how well you do on this, how well your three musicians turn out. Now, once I have my three musicians on the paper, it is okay to come back with a little bit of marker to do some fine details. I did that with this. I am just going to add a little bit, maybe some notes here, maybe something else, maybe just a little bit of, fingers or just some fine details. It's okay to do that at the end. But most of this we do want glued, pasted, like a collage to paste. So I really hope you have fun making your three musicians. I really had fun making mine. And I can't wait to see what everybody comes up with. Bye, everybody.